good for them to explore, so.
Well, I get it, boys will be boys, but that doesn't necessarily mean.
They stupid shit. All right, could you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Notice of this meeting was given in advance thereof by publishing one time in the Keith County News and posting at the City Administration Building as shown by the certificate of posting notice. Notice of this meeting was simultaneously given to the President and all members of the council. Availability of the agenda was communicated in the advance notice and the notice to the President and Council of this meeting. All proceedings hereafter will be taken while this convened meeting is open to the attendance of the public. This meeting is being convened in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the southeast corner of the council chambers. Any person wishing to address the council may do so by standing. When you are recognized, please go to the podium. Please sign the sign-in sheet located on the podium and state your name, your organization, interest, or person you represent before you begin speaking. Thank you. Roll call.
Dupierre.
Here.
Lockman.
Here.
Kresge.
Here.
Laughlin.
Here.
Weddington.
Here. Right, we have nothing on the consent agenda tonight, no public hearing. Under public forum, we have the Ogallala Community Hospital update, Tim Gillingsrud and Amber Kuski.
I can go as long as you guys would like me to, or I can go as short as you'd like me to, but I will try to keep it brief and let you ask questions if you have any. I am Tim Bellinger. I'm the CEO of the Ogallala Community Hospital, part of Banner Health, and I've been in Ogallala for just over 6 years, about 6.5 years. Amber is our new clinic, not so much new now, I guess a little over a year and a half, clinic practice manager. And we started doing these meetings with different community members, civic groups. I think it was probably about October. If you remember, maybe you don't, but back during the Beautiful Bill discussion, there was a letter that was sent from congressional leadership to the party, and they were trying to discuss the Beautiful Bill and Medicaid funds. And as part of that conversation, a letter was sent, and it highlighted a number of hospitals that they thought were at risk of closure or imminent closure as a result of these proposed Medicaid cuts. There were 2 hospitals in Nebraska that were listed, one of those being Ogallala Community Hospital, the other being the hospital in Creighton. Ironically, both those hospitals are both parts of Systems, us being part of Banner, and Creighton's part of Avera out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We really didn't respond to that at the time because we thought it was just political posturing. However, in I think it was September or so, article came out in the Examiner, and a professor that has ties to Nebraska but was from out east wrote this article and again cited the same information, saying that there were 2 hospitals in Nebraska that were at imminent risk of closure. Here to assure you that we are not at imminent risk of closure. We're actually just came off of one of our better years, very happy with how things are going, but felt like we needed to get out in front of the community and have better opportunities to discuss things, discuss where we're at with different things, and just answer any questions. Give you a 1-pager, just kind of some highlights of the hospital, some of the services we provide. Some of these services we provide in-house, some of them we bring in from outside. I think it's important to point out, first and foremost, that even though we aren't, a all needs type of hospital, we don't do neurosurgery, we don't do open heart surgeries. For the things that we do, we are held to the same standard as any hospital in the country. So for the obstetrics that we do, for all the different things that we do, you don't come to Ogallala Community Hospital and expect to have lesser care, lesser quality of care. And in fact, in my opinion, we need to be better because we don't have as many people in the community to spread our mistakes around. That is a little bit of a joke. We take that pretty seriously. But you know, I've heard at different times people refer to rural community hospitals as Band-Aid stations, and there's no such thing as a Band-Aid station. Legally, we have to meet those same levels of services, or we shouldn't be doing them, which is obviously why we don't do certain things like neurosurgery and cardiac surgery. We have an incredibly gifted group of people that work at the hospital and in the clinic. We have people that have been with us for a range of, 10, 20, 30, even 40 years. And they are all very dedicated to the patients that we see. We bring people in from a surrounding area as well to work at our facility. Our patient experience scores are some of the best in the Banner system. And I would put them up against any hospital in the state. 92% of our clinic patients surveyed said they would recommend their provider to their family and friends. 90% of the hospital patients surveyed said they would recommend the hospital to their family and friends. We take that very, very seriously. What people don't really, I think, understand is the economic impact that a hospital has in a rural community. Just in our compensation that we pay out annually, we pay out about $17 million in compensation. I've heard estimates when I was on a community development board that you can expect that a dollar of payroll will turn around about 7 times in the community. I don't know if that's still exactly the same, but if that were true, that would be about $120 million impact to the community in payroll that goes out. We have 146 employees, 90% of whom live within the city or the county. We pay an average annual salary of about $66,000 a year. That does not include benefits. So we have full benefits to our staff. One of the things I'm most proud about in our staff and speaks to our engagement is the fact that, and actually this number is a little low, it's actually closer to 38% now. 38% of our current staff have promoted into the current role that they have, which means that we've had staff that have started off in our culinary department or in our environmental services department as housekeepers. And through their diligence and through opportunities within Banner to learn and to access our tuition reimbursement programs and things like that, they've gone on to become nurses and other personnel. That's something that in rural communities I think is highly important, and something that in other communities I've lived in always struggled with staff that felt like there was no opportunities for them to learn and grow at work. That is not a case in Ogallala or with Banner. We have a great opportunities for people. In fact, our employee evaluation system really consists of 3 things. We ask the employee what their aspirations are, so they tell us what they would ultimately like to be. If they're in the role that they want to be in, then we want to keep them in that role and keep them engaged. If they have aspirations of doing something else, of being in a different role, we work with them to try to find how we can get them into that role. We talk about the results from the previous year, and then we talk about creating a challenge to grow. What can we do with that staff member to challenge them and keep them engaged in our facility? We have the highest engagement rate in Banner, which I think is outstanding for a facility our size. We also have routinely one of the highest participation rates in our employee engagement surveys. So we're very, very proud of that. We are community owned, as I think you all know that. We are going to be celebrating our 75th anniversary here in 2027. 2027, yes. And we will also be celebrating 40 years as a partner with Banner in 2027. So Banner's been a fixture in this community for 40 years. And I think it's been an outstanding fixture in this community. Certainly as evidenced by the things that we went through just a few years ago during COVID. We were at least 2 weeks ahead of our counterparts in the state as far as our preparation for the COVID, which turned out to not be what we thought it was going to be, but we were prepared. And I think that was in large part because of our experiences in other Banner facilities that we were able to bring into our community. We are a state certified level 4 trauma center. We're one of only 2 critical access hospitals in Nebraska that are accredited by the Joint Commission. All hospitals are licensed by the state, and they go through a state survey as part of Medicare. We take that to the next level, and we are certified by the Joint Commission, which is kind of a next level of certification and accreditation. They go through all of our things. In fact, we're due for a survey here very soon. And we look forward to that survey because we've done well, and we always want to learn how we can be better for our patients. We're a Nebraska hospital age-friendly facility, and we are the only hospital within a 50-mile radius that delivers obstetrics. And in fact, if you go on highways 83 and 85, the area between those 2 highways, we're the only provider of obstetrics from the South Dakota border to the Kansas border. There's no one else doing obstetrics in that region. And that means that we're right smack dab in the OB desert, and that's not a term I coined, that's a term that's been coined to discuss the lack of obstetrical services in that area. We're not the only state that suffers with that, but we've made it a very important part of our practice here to be able to continue to provide that. Other facilities that are in that range have dropped their obstetrical services because they either couldn't keep their staff competent, and I don't mean competent in that they're not good staff, but you need to do a certain number of procedures, certain number of deliveries to stay current. I should maybe use the word current rather than competent. Competent probably wasn't the right word, but it's important that you're doing a certain volume of procedures, and Banner looks at that. And we have, I think in the year that we had this, it was 63 deliveries. I think their highest in the last couple of years has been over 70. Last year we did just over 65. So we are doing enough volume to maintain our competencies and to continue to do that at a high level. We've been here in our community or in our current location for 26 years now. And the community came together to build that facility. And it's a very, very fine updated facility. Just a few other things, outpatient clinic, specialty clinic visits of almost 16,000, primary care visits in the clinic of almost 15,000. We do almost 3,000 ER visits and almost 300 hospital admissions. We've made a number of capital investments, including a new CT, new MRI. We worked with the Big Give and our own Better Together campaign within our staff to fund a community outdoor fitness project. And then last year in 2025, Banner contributed almost 3.2 million in capital improvements to our facility. If Banner really felt like we were a facility at risk of closure, I don't think they would be investing $3.2 million in our facility. So I think that speaks volumes to Banner's expectations and to our expectations. Amber, do you want to talk a little bit about?
Sure. All of our providers are extremely dedicated. It's a really great position that I have where I get to watch their passion for their communities, their patients. We have 3 docs that do OB and full family practice. So one of the great things about that is that expectant mothers can come in, see the same provider, likely deliver with that provider, and then their infants will have care from the same provider. So they really establish close relationships with their patients. So our clinic providers are averaging about 7 years of service. We just hired a new APP to come on towards the end of the year, a local family that's going to be coming back, moving back and raising their children here. We're really excited for that addition to our clinic. So at fully staffed, we'll have 3 APP providers, nurse practitioners or PAs, and 3 doctors. We're recruiting for 1 more. One of our longtime emergency room nurse leads got her nurse practitioner, came to the clinic for a while, and then there was an opening in the ER. So we're lucky to have her there. That's why we still have 1 more opening here in our clinic. I always like to point out with the doctors in the ER, I think one of the misconceptions that previously stood, and I don't know if it still does, because I will shout from the rooftops, that our ED docs are employed here. They are Ogallala doctors employed by Banner here in Ogallala. Now their schedules allow them to work shifts that may be 48 hours and then they would have a week away. But they're really invested in our community. These aren't locum providers that are coming in and flying in and we don't know them. they're really invested in our community. So even I have one that lives in Colorado, he comes here and he says, this is home to me. So I always like to point that out. While it might not be the face you see at the grocery store or at your kids' events, they're really invested in our community and they're here all the time. They have a rotation that they follow. So the ER providers that we do have are averaging over 9 years of service as well. We do have 2 full-time and 1 part-time CRNAs that also average over 8 years. And we have a number of specialists that come to the specialty clinic, as well as a very busy ortho provider that comes and does orthopedics in the clinic as well. So we have full joints, sports med, any of those services as well.
So part of the reason we're in front of you is last year, Nebraska became part of a program that's been around for a number of years. They used to call it a bed tax program. The way Medicaid is funded, Medicaid is partly state funded and partly federal funded. And that assessment, we call it now, we don't call it a tax, we call it an assessment, allowed the hospitals to get together, pool an assessment together, increase the amount of state contribution, that increased in the federal contribution, and then that money was paid back out to the state hospitals. That had about a $1.6 million impact to our facility and moved us from being a facility that was struggling to make a positive bottom line into being right there. We're right where we want to be. And we're working diligently to try to make sure that we stay there. The challenges that are coming out of that have to do with future funding. We anticipate over the next 5 years that Medicaid funding is going to be ratcheted back. That's part of the big beautiful bill. We expect that to happen. What we think is going to happen is it's going to push those Medicaid funds, which at one point Medicaid was our lowest payer of the truly commercial, I shouldn't say commercial, but of the government payers. Medicaid was the lowest, Medicare was middle, and then the commercial payers, your Blue Crosses, that were the kind of the highest. Through this payment mechanism, it moved Medicaid up to being pretty close to where the commercial payers have been. We anticipate that will push the reductions we're going to see will push us down, the Medicaid payments down to Medicare-like. And estimates I've seen are about Medicare pays about 70% of the cost of care, which if you've ever heard about the $100 aspirin or the whatever, that was a cost shifting. It was a hidden tax that occurs when governmental programs did not pay the full cost. Hospitals would shift that cost over onto the commercial payers to make it up. So what that meant then is you and I who are commercial insured would pay higher premiums because we were getting charged more. That's going to be really difficult to continue in the future because commercial payers are also moving toward that Medicare-like rate. So we are trying to, as part of Banner, we're trying to figure out how to make it on Medicare-like rates. And there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to occur as a result of that, and we're trying to anticipate that. I don't mean changes necessarily in overall. I mean just overall, we're going to see changes. So we want to get out ahead of that, communicate with our community, let people know what's happening, and not come here asking for anything, but making sure you're aware of the challenges that we face on a payment basis. Some challenges also that we face are with staffing. We have a difficult time finding nurses. We have a difficult time finding some other specialties. We are fully staffed except for the advanced practice providers, the NPs, PAs, that we have one already hired that'll start this next fall and one that we're interviewing on Monday for that second position. So I think we'll be pretty good with our provider group, but we're still struggling with nurses. We're struggling with mostly nurses, but there's other areas too that we struggle with. So if you know any nurses, we'd certainly love to talk with them. We have some great programs available for relocation and for signing bonuses and things like that to get nurses here. But any questions? I don't want to take up any more time than I have to, but certainly want to make it open to any questions or comments that you may have.
Do you see your market territory expanding as these shifts in healthcare continue to occur? Like the Oshkosh, Julesburg,
Yeah, you know, it's.
some of these places where there are hospitals are.
We lose a lot of our market to North Platte. And I think Great Plains is probably the biggest, benefactor of the volume that comes out of Ogallala. Some of that we send to them because, you know, we don't do some of the things that they do. But that tends to be where a lot of our patients go. And in certain specialties, yeah, we lose a lot of that.
Where they come from? Are you picking up market share from some of these other areas? Did any of that come up in the health needs assessment?
Yeah,
It's
I would say,
slow.
yeah, I don't think
Yes,
we're
we are.
necessarily, we picked up some with Medicare Advantage. We're still the only facility in the area that is on. I mean, some of them have taken that as out of network. I think we're still the only one that's doing Medicare Advantage as an in-network service. So we picked up some patients there. We picked up patients in other areas. But I think I would say our market is pretty flat. I don't know that we've seen huge jumps, either losing or gaining. We maybe gained a few with some of our new providers, but I don't know that we've seen, you know, the huge swings that it just hasn't been there. I think, you know, we'll see what happens in Oshkosh and what happens with their going to our rural emergency facility, which they won't have inpatient beds. You know, I think that Grant does a really good job of maintaining, Perkins County maintains their patients pretty well. And we get some OB out of Grant, we get some OB out of Imperial that come up this way. We do lose some OB over to North Platte because there's people that have commercial insurances or have the ability to drive that want to see an OB/GYN versus a family practice physician. As Amber said, though, the advantage of seeing a patient of doing a delivery here is that there's pretty high likelihood you're going to deliver with the physician that's been following you. Whereas if you go over to North Platte, you're going to be whoever's on call if you happen to go in at that time. That's just a standard practice that some places do, some places don't. Our docs are very dedicated to their patients, and not that the others aren't, but they just make themselves available to that.
Well, I just want to thank all your employees and your leadership for years, how well you guys have worked with our community. It's been a pleasure just to watch some of the projects and then just watch you help some of the, I guess, other health organizations in our community when they needed assistance as well. So I'm just thankful that you guys are up there, what you guys do, and how you interact with our community. It's pretty impressive. Thank you very much.
And we're extremely fortunate to have a hospital for one thing, and to have Banner here. You know, that's a win for us too. You've done a great job where I see other hospitals really struggling, and you just keep moving forward, chugging along, and you've been great help while we continue to work on our EMS operation. So thank you for what you've done in the community. You've been a great partner. Any other comments or questions for Tim or Amber?
I'd like to point out that it's been really fun for Tim and I to do some of this outreach. So we're always willing to listen to any feedback that you hear. We're willing to field any calls. That's what we do. We take all of our patient surveys really seriously. So if you guys have any input that you are hearing or personal experiences or anything like that, please don't hesitate to call us. And we really want to be good partners to our community. So whatever that looks like, we're open to those suggestions as well. Getting out in front of any other service groups or organizations or anybody that you feel would benefit from hearing this information, please also pass that our way as well.
I think, we'd like to see you here maybe twice a year, or, at least once a year. If you have anything exciting going on.
We did talk with the county as well. We
Yeah.
were able to meet with them, so it's been
Well,
great.
we'll just point out one thing, and maybe you've heard about this, maybe you haven't, but Banner Health as a system has gone cashless. So we are not accepting checks or cash now. There was a lot of Facebook posting going on about that just recently, and I don't know if you've heard about that or not. It's really, it's a system decision. When you think of the amount of money that the hospitals and the bigger hospitals were managing on a daily basis, the security, the hiring, the armored trucks, all that. There is some other reasons for that, but really, you know, it was decided that we wanted to be consistent across our systems. We understand that there are, you know, people that maybe don't have credit cards, and there are opportunities within our facility that people can sign up and be approved for. It's called Curate. We've done a lot of different things with our billing to try to make it more convenient for our staff or for our patients. But if you hear somebody say something about it, just pass them along. We'd love to talk to them about it. We're always available for any comments or questions.
Thanks for having me.
Tim, thank you. Thank you, Amber.
I wanna have another baby then.
I'm gonna leave a couple of these, yeah, too.
Did you get this, the health needs assessment done?
I'm gonna email you back tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna let that one later.
Good luck.
Okay, next in a public forum, we have Ogallala Multifamily LLC apartment project, Justin Hernandez.
Just want to drop off a few business cards too. Yeah.
Thanks.
What's up, David? Well, nice to meet you. Kevin and I have been speaking more frequently here over the past couple months regarding the apartment project that's been out there by the hotels, and you know, kind of the struggles and challenges that we've been going through there, along with you know the progress that we're intending to continue to make, and trying to set some milestones that we can hopefully achieve to get this project wrapped up. We do really appreciate the community support initially approving the project. There was a lot of unexpected challenges that you know, we really didn't anticipate as we started that. And you know, at this point, I think that you know there's been steps made to continue moving that forward. Hasn't went as fast as what we would like. There's more of the exterior that has been you know, buttoned up and finished up over the last 60 to 90 days. A lot of the subcontract network that we have been working with is somewhat limited from where we initially had signed groups up and teams up to work with us on this project. So you know, we're doing our best to move it forward. Getting the exterior wrapped up was a key step, and you know, there are trades that are on site, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and you know, working towards getting those final inspections, getting to the drywall stage, and then being able to move forward with the project. So you know, it's definitely something that I know the community is sensitive to on what's going on, and you know, why wasn't there work, and you know, what are these guys doing? We're trying to do the best we can with some of the challenges that we've had. You know, as I communicated to Kevin, you know, wasn't what we set out to do on the schedule that we had, but you know, in the end, we will deliver those units, and we know that there's a need in the community for that. We've got a great management team on board ready to get those units leased as soon as we can get to that point. But yeah, the project is moving forward. We've overcame the challenges that you know were kind of holding us back before, and you know, wanted to come out here and at least open it up to questions. So you guys knew who was behind the project, and you know, could ask questions directly. And you know, Kevin can also you know, kind of have me to know that we're together, I guess, answering those, so he's not just the only one relaying information. So,
I appreciate you showing up. The question in everyone's mind is, when will we see leasing?
yeah, well, Brock over here with Haven View, he would love to lease these things tomorrow.
We would do.
Yeah, I know, and so would we. Right now, the inspections that we're waiting on are really driven by the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing trades. You know, to be completely transparent, those inspections have not all passed on the first try. But we want to make sure that we're holding the contractors accountable to that, and that, you know, the worst thing for us to do would be to hurry up and cover it up just to get open. So although we'd all like to get them leased up and open, yeah, there's probably realistically another 3 to 4 weeks before we start hanging that drywall. And, you know, from that point, yeah, we do plan to work with Kevin to open up the first floor first, and then continue working our way up the building to finish out. So we will be putting more effort into the first floor, getting those units done. You know, the fire system throughout the entire building will be, you know, fully operational, sign off from the fire marshal, obviously, before we do anything. But there could be a possibility to rent those first floor units sooner than the rest of the building. And, you know, we want to coordinate closely with Kevin and Brock on our management team. But, you know, he's got people wanting to do tours and get going. So we are aligned on that. I wouldn't be able to commit to a date tonight because I really wish we could pass all those inspections on the first try. But unfortunately, it's just not realistic right now.
I don't think we'll hold you to any definite date, but can you give us like a ballpark, like 2 months, 3 months?
When I met with Kevin it was about 6 weeks ago now, 7 weeks ago now. You know, I was planning on being able to walk him through a unit yesterday. You know, that was the plan that we were on there. Inspections did not occur as planned for those 3 weeks, and we lost some time. You know, I will definitely give Kevin an update on it, but I would say at our best case is going to be yet this second quarter or in early second quarter. Worst case would be at the end of second quarter. So.
And either Brandon or I, Justin's been pretty good about keeping us apprised, and Brandon's been pretty responsive on getting up there whenever you guys, whenever we got a call with.
It is definitely not any concern on the city side. I'd say that you guys have been great to work with on it. There was just, you know, some challenges the way that the project was initially put together. Yeah, and yeah, we're trying to work through those, but want to make sure that we're delivering a quality product. And you know, it can't get open soon enough, but it needs to be done right to ensure that we're not going back and fixing something or have to displace somebody from those units. But the demand's definitely here, and we want to get it done as soon as possible.
So that all the siding's up, it's windows in, or what? It's weather tight now.
As of today, the siding's about 85%. There's still some that's on the southeast corner. Again, the crew that was contracted for that is out of state, didn't show back up on Monday. You know, there was calls made to them. I'm sure they will be back here based on discussions, but they're almost done. But they've got that southeast corner or southwest corner to do, and then that south elevation. There's probably about 10-15 windows that need to be replaced that have had broken glass in it, and then the soffit needing to button that up. But we do have the railings on site ready to put those on, the louvers for the HVAC ports there, or the openings. So the plan would be that by the end of April, the exterior, as you're driving by, looks completely finished. We do plan to go forward with landscaping and, to get it looking good for the community, even though we wouldn't be, leasing out the entire building, but, out of respect for the community and the project itself. We just want to get it looking better, and we'll work our way up from the bottom and, get this thing wrapped up.
Good idea. Well, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify. So you're with NGC?
Correct.
You're the project manager?
I'm with NGC.
Perfect. So primarily the holdup right now is inspections, is what you're saying?
No, not the inspection side. It's more the quality of the tradesmanship.
So you're gonna go back and fix it?
Just ensuring that we're delivering the quality of the work that needs to be done with the contractors that we have there.
Okay. Do you currently have interior contracts ready to go?
Yes,
Can I ask what the name of the contractors are?
there's multiple contractors for the interior side.
Will you guys be building the garages as originally discussed?
There is discussion on the garages, right now that we have not dedicated any resources to that. But they are on plan and approved.
And then do you get, I assume you guys have future projects, maybe not just in Ottawa.
As far as, multifamily project or,
Yeah, similar,
yes, similar projects.
so have you guys done any work to, I guess, improve your process? So those other communities that don't maybe experience the same, I guess, setbacks that we have?
Yes, we have, the initial. Contracting process was driven probably more about achieving, a fairly tight budget that, it was challenging to work in western Nebraska. Some of the subcontractors that were chosen for that were chosen for multiple trades, at one time. And we found that that choice was wrong. It was too risky. And there wasn't enough resources within some of those contracting groups to deliver on the schedule. So on other projects that are in similar communities, and we're not allowing that to be doubled up. And there's only one contractor that's from this project that's been allowed to work on the other projects.
Thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Just, if there's anything you need from the city, please don't hesitate to reach out to Kevin, that, we can get this thing open and get it leased.
Yeah, we will definitely, stay in touch with Kevin, and, again, that drywall is a major stage for us, along with getting the exterior buttoned up, so. I will plan to be out here again in another 60 days, to make sure that, we're aligned with that, and happy to come to the meeting also, so.
You might put that on your calendar too, 60
Yep.
days, just get another update.
Yeah, I don't wanna put Kevin in a situation that he's relaying information, but I will continue to stay up to date with Kevin. On a more frequent basis along with our project team, but that way, that you guys are aware of what's going on.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, under public forum, is there anyone in the audience that has anything they wish to address? That will move on, under the report of the city clerk treasurer, minutes of the regular meeting held February 24th, 2026.
Move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held February 24th, 2026.
A second?
We have a motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Remington. There is no discussion or comment. Could the council please vote? Sure.
That's what, yeah, the battery's got to be dead.
Motion carried.
What's your?
Financial report, February 2026.
Okay. Revenues for the month are $975,048.78. Expenses for the month are $737,670.35. Fiscal year to date revenues are $5,134,668.12. Fiscal year to date expenses are $6,723,616.57. Fiscal year to date, the city has received $369,808.42 from franchise fees, $15,579.92 from telephone occupation taxes, and $84,694.21 from a hotel occupation tax. For the month of February, the city received $24,987 in casino tax revenue. Fiscal year to date, casino tax revenue received is $110,579. And the available unencumbered LB 840 balance is negative $154,526.94.
Any comments or questions?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Mo.
You're welcome. Thank you for having no questions.
Okay, under recommendations, departments, boards and committees, under administration, we have a potential conflict of interest with Austin Dupierre.
Mr. President, this is the benefits of going to conferences. The session was attended by the accountability and disclosure. This is just for Austin to acknowledge that he is the owner of A&B Rental and will be abstaining from voting on any business that we do with A&B. So
This item does not require any
this does not require
council
any
action. It's just
Austin just waived.
I'm just acknowledging there could be a potential conflict of interest as the city of Ogallala does occasionally rent or purchase items from a business.
well, you got better equipment than we do, so we like borrowing them from you.
Try, thank you.
Which brings up the next item, administration, the open contract with A&B Tool, 802 East First Street.
Mr. President, this is not specific to any pending purchase or any past purchase. This is just an open contract that allows the city to do business with A&B Rental after acknowledging the conflict of interest.
Move to approve the open contract with K&B Tools, 802 East Street.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Weddington, and I think I heard a second by Councilman Clockman. If there's no further discussion or comments, council please vote.
You'll need to abstain.
Yep. Yep, we're all good. You can abstain from this.
Oh. Four yes, one abstain.
Motion carried. Okay, under administration, we have the ambulance fee schedule, resolution 2325.
Mr. President, we miscopied over to the fee schedule and Dave caught us, so he's here to fix it.
Dave should have caught it beforehand, and I apologize for that, but I was wondering why we had to write part of it out last time and should have stopped and looked into things a little bit more, but I didn't. So I apologize for that as well, but the one that's in front of you, I did get last week after I think Steve gave me delayed COVID.
Sorry.
But looks like everything was good for this one and ask that you sign it. I believe it's, like Jordan said last time, it's an 8% increase from before, so.
Any questions, comments?
I would introduce resolution 2325 and move for its adoption.
A resolution amending the city of Ogallala special fee schedule. Sir, second. We have a resolution introduced by Councilman Dupierre, and there was a second of Councilman Clockman. There is no further discussion or comments. Could the council please vote?
Five yes.
Resolution. Thank you. Resolution 2325 is hereby adopted. All right, moving on, airport runway 826 reconstruction, runway 1331 rehabilitation and airfield light improvements. OGA 018 019 020.
Mr. President, these are the contract documents from the engineer. They're about 3 voluminous documents. I have it off in my office if you want to peruse them. Councilman Dupier did come in too early to do some homework on them. They're said to be 90% complete because we're waiting on the FAA's final review. Once the FAA does final review, they'll be ready to go out for bid. So what this does is by accepting these documents and authorizing to go out for bid upon FAA concurrence, the engineers will get the notice published, and we hope to have bids coming in by the end of April. I think is what the bid deadline is. I think there's gonna be the schedule, the tentative schedule that we have based upon your approval of this is a bidders meeting on April 6th. And then bids in by the end of April. Talking through the engineers, I think we've got this funded at about 95%. I've got a few state funds that I'm still looking to nail down that might bump that up just a smidge. The FAA normally it is a 90-10 split. We've got some other money coming in that's gonna get our portion down to about 5% rather than 10%. The engineers have been in contact with potential bidders to tee up some responses. The conversations that they've had, they feel that the climate is good to go out for bid and get this project under construction yet this year. Not our fiscal year.
Finished by winter next year,
Finished by winter next year.
27.
27, yes. The construction will not be in this fiscal year, it will be in the next fiscal year.
Could you give us an idea of what the 10% of the unfinished documents include?
Just the FAA review.
Oh, so the
That's what they're calling it, 90% complete because they're waiting on FAA concurrence.
Right.
They're not anticipating any comments back from the FAA because we've been in fairly close contact with the FAA as we've went from, I think, if some of you were involved in that original ALP, we were at a $11 million project. And so we've been in really close contact with the FAA to get it from that 11 million down to the 7.5 million that we're looking at right now. 7.5 to 8.
Can you break down a little bit of the timeline, how long this has taken and what the cost looks like to taxpayers roughly?
Taxpayers at 10% would have been about 800,000. At 5% will be about 400,000 for the taxpayer, but the taxpayers of Ogallala.
And we're hoping to get that down to,
Maybe 3.
and this
I
has been,
squeezed turnips pretty hard.
and this has been in the work for how long?
The ALP, I think we started working on the ALP in 2023. So 3 years.
It's changed a lot.
You know, it seems like we get finished with the project on the airport, but we start planning for the next one. I mean, it seems like it's a never ending.
I was just gonna say that it's always been.
It's always something else coming up.
1331 will be next. There has been some discussions among the private sector that there is private sector interest in extending 826, another 900 feet, so it's a 6,000, a little over a 6,000 foot runway. If those discussions move forward, that will all be privately funded. The FAA is even when we were looking at an 11 million project, they were holding firm and they were only gonna kick in 7.5, which is why we fought to pull this project back. They originally wanted to rubbleize the run 826. What we did is we took core samples to make sure that which saved us about $2 million. So that we could put a 6-inch white top right over what we have. The existing runway is stable enough that it's not going to crack that white top. The issue we have with 826 is when the concrete was poured, and I'm saying like I know this, I'm telling you what I've been told, is the concrete when it was poured in the 90s was an inferior concrete, and a lot of the concrete, even in roads that was poured in that particular era, is breaking up due to chemical reaction. So it's if you walk the runway, it's in the expansion joints and it's just kind of crumbling away. It isn't necessarily cracks in the panels, it's in the expansion joints where it's just kind of where the water is seeping into it, it's crumbling.
Found that out in Omaha. 15 years ago where that was caused a lot of the problems that the aggregate that we use in Nebraska is not good for concrete. But what we got, what we use, I guess. So. Quick question, this infrastructure or ballot issue we're bringing up, maybe this fall, could those funds be used for this, since this would be part of the infrastructure? And I'm not gonna hold you to it either, just.
I don't think they can be used. I don't know.
Okay.
That's
an honest answer. I
don't think they can, but I don't know.
Right, just curious. Any other questions for Kevin?
I'll move to accept runway 826 reconstruction and runway 1331 rehabilitation and airfield lighting improvements, OGA 018-019-020. Contract documents and specifications, engineers design report and authorized to go out for bid upon FAA concurrence.
Second.
There was a motion by Councilman Lathman and a second by Councilman Weddington. If there's no further discussion, comments? Council, please vote.
Just have new batteries in mind because it's fast.
She did put your batteries into that. 5 yes.
Motion carried. All right, now we're moving into planning and zoning. A final plat of Emmett's replat of tracks 1 to Johnson subdivision to Ogallala, and a tract recorded by instrument number 202-102-659, all located in the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of section 2, township 2, township 13 north, range 39 west of the 6 PM, Keith County, Nebraska.
All right, Brandon, Planning and Zoning Administrator. So this is for Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson and Kent Hicks have split the lot in between theirs on the west end of town. So there is a septic tank or a leach field easement that it kind of divides the property line. So part of it is on his property, the other part is an easement on the property that was there. So with them splitting this lot, it puts the septic easement completely on his property, so there will be no easement. We're doing away with that easement. And it splits that lot. Kent and Caleb are splitting it, what is it, 47 to
4750.
So, and it also cleans it up. It's never been platted before, so it's actually a tract. So it brings it into a plat now.
I was thinking this was a cleanup.
Yep.
Measure.
Easy.
Yep, it's just,
Pretty simple.
I'll move to approve the final plat of Emmett Street plat of tracks 1 and 2 Johnson subdivision to Ogallala. And a track recorded by instrument number 2021-02659, all located on the southeast quarter of section 2, township 13 north, range 39 west, of the 6 P.M. Keith County, Nebraska.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Dupierre. There's no further discussion. Questions? Could the council please vote?
Five yes.
Motion carried. Moving on, report of city attorney.
I do not have.
Right, report of city manager.
As noted in my update, we didn't get, or in my most recent email, we didn't get a response to the RFP to the FBO. I owe the council president a drink, because I thought we'd get at least one. My plan B was to reach out to see if I could solicit interest, again, just to sit down and do an individual negotiation with a couple of current FBOs around the area. I've had 3 conversations and I'm not getting any traction on those conversations, so I'm going to examine Plan C. And Plan C would be to look at having a fuel sale concessionaire or leasing out the tank farm. I think the highest area of concern and making sure that we have the skill set at the airport is getting fuel measurements going into the tank, getting the fuel weight measurements coming out of the tank on a regular basis, making sure that the jet fuel's being circulated and the filters changed properly. If we can get a concessionaire, we can get someone to take over this fuel sales, that will at least put some arm's length liability away from the city. In terms of just managing the terminal hangar and keeping the pilot's lounge clean, we may have to pull that in-house or find another contractor to do that separately. I have not fully committed to Plan C yet, but just letting you know, that's what I'm thinking at this particular juncture.
Our fuel is self-service, correct?
Our fuel is self-service. A lot of the jets that are coming in, they would like a little higher level of service than self-service. I'm more concerned about making sure we have quality of the fuel that's in there, the filters are serviced regularly, and the Jet A is being circulated properly. I don't have the skill set to do that, and to do that is kind of an ad hoc. Oh, Brandon, by the way, if you went out and checked the fuel farm lately, I don't think is a good way to handle that. Currently, Justin Candy is willing to continue to maintain a presence in the hangar and do runway lights, check the SOX, do our NOTEMs, but once he's in the process of purchasing a business and moving out, so we will be without someone at the airport at some point within the next few months.
How often do you have to check the fuel?
You probably should go out and get a measurement off of each tank at least twice a week. Talking with other FBOs this week who operate in commercial airports such as Scottsbluff, Sydney, and Alliance. Their fuel testing is very rigorous. In fact, the guy in Scottsbluff, and he's the guy that kind of scared me because they don't do kinds of stuff that I know we don't.
I'd imagine you should check them for water.
Yeah, that's part of
the
the
darn time.
Yeah, something. Then was it this table or fall, but.
No.
Has
Well,
there ever been a conversation about creating an airport authority?
There has been conversations about an airport authority. The challenges with an airport authority, as long as the city of Ogallala owns it, we're responsible. The airport authority is, will govern the airport and will, and generally, your budgetary ask goes up because you have people who are very enthusiastic about the airport and they want things.
but they
I believe
still,
there was an airport authority in the sixties and the seventies, if I remember correctly, and it was disbanded. I think before 1980, but I just don't know, but there was one in place.
there was, and there were very prominent, affluent people who had planes in the community, and they ran it well till the FAA came in with additional restrictions and rules. They were businessmen and taking their time to try and run an airport. It got too complicated for them, and it was a money issue.
We have gotten by economically for a number of years and I don't know that I'm going to be able to maintain the level of economy in running the airport that we've had in the past.
An airport authority, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I think even with the airport authority, we would still approve their budget.
That I couldn't answer without looking. It's a separate political subdivision. They would have their own taxing authority and those kinds of things. But in terms of their budget, I couldn't tell you whether.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can't remember if it fell under our lid or not, anyway.
And that's right, Mike, because I'm thinking of an airport advisory committee, not an airport authority, because if we could have a county airport authority, we could have a county, then we would have the taxing authority of the county, not just the city. And then they would submit like any other political subdivision to the county.
I don't see the county, jumping on this and picking up another taxi. But it's worth having your discussion.
I will note that we are speaking of county, because they didn't give us access to their GIS, so we found a way around it. We are live with our planning. What is it called? Cloud plan? Cloud permit. We went live yesterday.
Got it all figured out?
No, sir. No, it took 30 minutes to issue a permit today. But we got it issued. We'll get there.
So that's auto-populating into GIS?
We have found a subscription service where it will auto populate into our permit, but it's not touching the county at all. It got way too heavy a lift for them to give us access to their GIS.
Are we going to work towards being able to create a property file and put that in deed of records?
Well, we don't want to talk about that until we get this going, because that's one of the things that made everybody all paranoid. We will be submitting property records to the assessor, but it won't be through. I can assure you, it won't be through GIS for a while.
I don't think it'd be recorded though with the deed of records, unless there were some specific legal document that needed recorded. It isn't be just building plans and.
Yeah, it would have to be something that we wanted to record, so. If there's failed inspections, I've been told that those need to be recorded, so. I will start recording those.
Recorded where?
With the deeds, the register of deeds at the courthouse. So it'll be recorded with the property.
So going back to on the airport side, who's looking in the airport? Who took that one off?
Daryl's got transportation.
Is that one maybe a good one to look at as as we continue to look at it, if there's continued discussion on how much taxpayer funding we put into an airport, what's the true everyday individual's benefit to having the airport here with the amount of money that we pump in? We pumping money into a hobbyist airport, or do we get return on our investment out there, and how much return for the average citizen?
Well, that's one reason why I was happy to have Councilman Weddington on.
Might be something we look at, especially as we're talking about, you know, if we're looking at a taxing authority of some sort. There may be some pushback, because I don't think your average citizen sees the benefit.
Well, the economic impact analysis done on most of these general aviation airports is bogus. Because if you look at our economic impact analysis on our airport, it says it generates 3 jobs, 3 direct jobs. Well, there's not 3 direct jobs at the airport. There's not 3 direct FTEs. So where they get those numbers, I don't know. In fact, I've even asked aeronautics. Is there an impact? Yeah, I mean, if you, the people who fly into the sail barn, the people who are flying into the resort, the people who fly into the lake.
Doctors, these are all people with deep pockets.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, it's not the last meeting, so we don't have any council reports unless anyone has something they want to bring up. If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I started.
We have a motion by Councilor Laplin, second by William. To adjourn. Council, please vote.
It was.
Almost hit the wrong button there.
Oh, let's stay.
5 yes.
Motion carried. Gentlemen, thank you, both thank you for
Great job.
you. You vote, can you erase your vote if you press the wrong button, or you just say back here?
No, do you have that flat?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
You do have it?
Yes.
Steve,
Sign it.
But then,
Can you?
right now, I think we
Right.
spend. Not counting engineering, all of the stuff connected to the FAA are, we're spending about.
Why should Oglala own it? Why shouldn't it go to the county?
Steve.
County wouldn't take it, and I bet you have the authority with the taxing or with the taxing taxpayer checkbook, it would go from about $200 to. It wouldn't save the taxpayers overall.
Is that gonna happen when we do this ambulance merger with fire department?
It's gonna get countywide though. It's gonna be consolidation.
Airport would, like he just said, the airport would do the same thing, get countywide funding, budget would go from 200,000 to 500,000. And that's my fear with this ambulance service in the fire department is that, yes, it's gonna go countywide, have its own levy, but is it just gonna be more expensive?
I don't think it will pull in this.
I think that's.
I'm not concerned about the ambulance, cause with each fire district, watching where that money's going.
Yeah, good night.
Sort on. And with the lid limits, I don't think they're gonna have that luxury to.
Okay.
The thing about an airport authority is you get highways. The only people who serve on it are highways, so it's like giving the kid the key to the candy.
Have fun with that.